You're watching South Asia Newsland, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Wednesday, the 29th of October. Trump reiterates India-Pak ceasefire claims, hints at a trade deal with India. Pakistan Defence Minister threatens to obliterate Taliban after peace talks collapse. And Sheikh Hasina warns of mass voter boycott in upcoming Bangladesh elections. And now for all the details. US President Donald Trump, while delivering his keynote remarks at a Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation CEOs Luncheon in South Korea on Wednesday, hinted at an imminent trade deal with India and the USA. I am doing a trade deal with India and I have great respect and love for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We have a great relationship, he said. Trump also reiterated his disputed claim of personally averting a nuclear war between India and Pakistan in May. He asserted that his intervention helped de-escalate tensions between the two nations. Trump claimed he personally contacted both PM Modi and Pakistan's leadership to halt the hostilities, linking the resolution to trade negotiations. The US President also compared his own handling of the situation to that of former US President Joe Biden, questioning if Biden could have achieved similar results.
And I called Prime Minister Modi. I said, we can't make a trade deal with you. No, we must make a trade deal. I said, no, we can't. You're starting a war with Pakistan. We're not going to do it. And then I called Pakistan. I said, we're not going to do trade with you because you're fighting with India. And, you know, two nuclear nations. And they said, no, you should let us fight. They both said that. You know, they're warring. They're strong people. I'll tell you what. Prime Minister Modi is the nicest looking guy. He says, and he looks like you'd like to have your father, like, he's a killer. He's tough as hell. No, we will fight. I said, whoa, this is the same man that I know.
Moving on. The Chinese and Indian militaries have held talks on managing their shared border, agreeing to use existing mechanism to resolve any ground issues, both sides said on Wednesday. The dialogue marks continued efforts to stabilize relations since the 2024 pact aimed at reducing tensions along the Himalayan frontier, tensions that spiked after the deadly 2020 clash in which 20 Indian and 4 Chinese soldiers were killed. Following last year's agreement, both countries have moved to normalize ties, resuming direct flights and boosting trade and investment flows. India's foreign ministry said both sides reaffirmed their commitment to maintaining peace and stability along the border. China's defense ministry noted that the latest round of high-level talks held on the Indian side on Saturday underscored the importance of dialogue through both military and diplomatic channels. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to China in August for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit, his first in 7 years, further highlighted efforts to improve ties. Modi and President Xi Jinping agreed that India and China were development partners, not rivals. Moving on. Cyclone Montha, which made landfall late Tuesday evening, has now weakened, according to the Indian Meteorological Department. Despite weakening, the storm has left a trail of destruction across coastal Andhra Pradesh and parts of Odisha and Telangana. We have a report.
Cyclone Montha, which has now weakened from a severe cyclonic storm to a cyclonic storm, with wind speeds of up to 110 kilometers per hour, claimed 1 life and injured 2 others in separate incidents. In Konaseema district, an elderly woman died after a tree collapsed on her house. Elsewhere, a young boy and an auto driver sustained injuries when coconut trees were uprooted by strong winds. 98 houses have collapsed over the past 24 hours due to heavy winds during the landfall process.
The entire state expected that Montha will create an havoc, but due to the continuous support, guidance and motivation of the Honorable CM of the state to the officers and appointing senior officers as nodal officials and continuously interacting with the district collectors, motivating them and instructing them on taking remedial measures or preventive measures to contain the Montha. It yielded a good result, and now it is absolutely under control, except a few districts where Prakasham and Nellore, where there was more rainfall. few roads are damaged and tanks are also we allegedly damaged. And otherwise, the entire state is absolutely under control. More particularly, the Krishna district, entire district is also under control. We expect that there will be more than 150 mm on an average, but there is only 35 mm of rainfall average. It's absolutely under control. There is no loss of lives anywhere in the state.
The storm began making landfall around 7 p.m. on Tuesday, crossing the Andhra Pradesh and Yanam coasts, south of Kakinada. Indian Railways had cancelled 125 trains, while a few others had been regulated, rescheduled, or diverted. In total, around 160 trains were affected. A total of 37 flights were cancelled across Andhra Pradesh and Telangana.
In view of Montha cyclone, we have so far cancelled 125 trains, and one partial cancellation is also there, and 18 trains were diverted. This is the overall figure since yesterday related to cancellation of trains. And regarding cancellation of trains, we are able to give information to the travelling public and passengers through electronic, social and different media. Regularly we are updating them. And to facilitate passengers, we have started help desks also at all important stations of South Central Railway like Secunderabad, Kazipet, Vijayawada, and many other stations. We have started help desk. Passengers having certain confusions or questions, they can go to help desk and help desk will sort out their issues, and even they facilitate refund for the cancellation of trains.
Schools in Andhra Pradesh's NTR and Bapatla districts were closed due to adverse weather. In Odisha's Gajapati district, all schools, colleges, and Anganwadi centers will remain shut until October 30th. Citing preliminary estimates, standing crops within an area of 38,000 hectares and horticulture crops spread over 1.38 lakh hectares were destroyed in Andhra Pradesh due to the impact, said a press release from the Chief Minister's office. The IMD withdrew red alerts issued for a few districts for Wednesday, and issued orange alerts for the districts.
And Pakistan's Defence Minister Khawaja Asif on Wednesday threatened to obliterate the ruling Taliban in neighbouring Afghanistan after the collapse of peace talks between the two nations. Taking to X, he said Pakistan does not require to employ even a fraction of its full arsenal to completely obliterate the Taliban regime and push them back to the caves of hiding. Earlier on Wednesday, Pakistan's Information Minister Atullah Tarar said that the truce negotiations concluded in Istanbul without a workable solution. The recent friction between the neighbours erupted after Islamabad demanded that the Afghan Taliban administration to act against militants that it claims are launching attacks inside Pakistan from safe havens in Afghanistan. Both nations had earlier agreed to a ceasefire brokered in Doha on October 19, but the talks in Istanbul failed to find common ground. Kabul maintained it has no control over the Pakistani Taliban group, leading to tense exchanges and renewed border clashes despite the truce. Former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in emailed responses told Reuters that supporters of Bangladesh's Awami League will boycott next year's national election after the party was barred from contesting the polls. Hasina also said she would not return to Bangladesh under any government formed after elections that exclude her party and plans to remain in India. This comes as Bangladesh Chief Advisor Muhammad Yunus has pledged to hold elections next February, and the Election Commission suspended the Awami League's registration in May. Earlier, the Yunus-led government banned all party activity, citing national security threats and war crimes investigations into senior Awami League leaders. Hasina, accused of human rights abuses and suppressing dissent, denied the charges, saying she was not personally involved in the use of lethal force or other alleged crimes. The International Crimes Tribunal has concluded proceedings against Hasina, and a verdict is expected on November 13th. Hasina's Awami League ruled Bangladesh for more than 15 years, until last August when a massive student protest forced her to resign. She fled across the border to India, where she remains in exile. Both the Nepali and Chinese sides of the Everest region were closed to tourists on Wednesday after heavy unseasonal snowfall blanketed the Himalayas. In Nepal, a private helicopter crashed in deep snow while attempting to rescue stranded trekkers near Labuche, though the pilot survived, officials said. Triggered by Cyclone Montha from the Bay of Bengal, the storm has brought rain and snow across trekking routes, prompting authorities to halt hikes in Annapurna, Mansalu and Dholagiri regions. On the Tibetan side, ticket sales were suspended and roads shut as icy conditions and low visibility made travel impossible. Forecasters warned of more snow through Friday. Earlier this month, a blizzard had stranded hundreds of trekkers in Tibet, while in Nepal, over 50 people have died recently in floods and landslides caused by heavy rains. And that's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Till then, good night.